Okay, greetings everyone. This is Gerard, editor of Filipino Soul Magazine. Hold on a second. AKA S.G.I.B. Magazine, stand for Soul Just Got Intention to Believe That, because everyone should be sold into something. A dream, a goal, an idea, a trend towards something. Well, I'm just coming back in from you know where, trying to get some you know what from you know who. So anyway, but I want to tell you how marvelous God works in my life. When I say God truly looks after babies and fools, I'll tell you how. First, let me open up my Alibaba home. I bought some curtains today, trying to do my hand in some decoration. You can't see them from here. But come on, I'll take you inside. There, I hope that's a little better. That you can kind of see what's going on. This is my hand at decorating. I still haven't got them up there yet. But anyway, there's a little something. You know, when I talk about how God looks after babies and fools, I truly am talking about that because I went out tonight. You know, I got a call from a couple of friends of mine who asked me if I would come join them. And so I said, sure. I said, I'll come join them. I'm going to get some more light in here. But anyway, so I took, let me do that now. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'll bring in here. Because this is where the real magic happens. You know that. Those of you who have seen some of my videos, this is my office. So, you know, this is where the real magic happens. So anyway, so like I said, God looks after babies and fools. So I got on a scooter, I took a scooter. And of course in here I got to put on my glasses. I'm feeling a little tipsy. I hope you don't mind. I mean, I'm not like Kavanaugh. Yeah, I drank. Yeah, I get fucked up. Yeah, I push up on girls. One of those things. I wonder if I should tell you this story. I will. I'll tell you this story. No, I won't. Save it for my book. It's involved. It is about a rape. I was adolescent, and I participated in one. Does that make me a bad person? No. Because I look at my record for over the many years, there's been no other flare-up or anything that indicates that type of depravity that lies inside me, you know, was flared up again. It was just one of those things. You'll learn more about it in the book I'm writing. So, do I understand Kavanaugh, the judge who's up for Supreme Court Justice, about stuff that happens when you're a child or when you're young, and can you move away from that and go on and not let that be the basics of your existence, you know, perpetuating that type of depravity, that type of abuse, that type of aggressiveness? Yes, you can. I've done it. Would I want to be judged today for things that I've done over, I'm 60, oh, I was 20, that's 20, 20, 30, over 35 years ago? Would I want to be judged by something I've done 35 years ago? No. But, you know, will I lie about it, saying that it's never happened, I've never done it, I never participated? No. I guess under some circumstance I probably would. But then, you know, when I'm going for something like that, as he has, lying is you know, is not acceptable. You know, especially when you're going to be sitting on the most highest court of the land. But anyway, I have digressed. Let's get back to why God is so good in my life. And why I say God looks after babies and fools. I got on the school. They don't have taxis here in Dumageddon. Everything done on motorcycles and tricycles, motorized tricycles. So I left and I got on one, you know, head to Dumageddon. I got to where my friends were waiting for me, and I just sat down. I sat down and crossed my legs, you know, as I do, you know, at the ankle, cross my legs at ankle. And my bracelet just dropped in my lap. Boom. Just like that. And I looked at it, and I saw that it was broken. And all I can say is that I have a good God. Because that whole ride, at any given moment, this could have fell off and been in the streets somewhere in Dumageddon. But God chose to wait till I got to where I was going, thought I was cool, took a sip, and like crossed my legs and plop, it fall off in my lap. So, you know, I don't believe in foxhole prayers. I don't believe in prayers that when your back is against the wall or when you're like this and you're saying in jail, oh God, get me out of this. In fact, when I turned myself into Oregon prison back in 1999 or 2000, something like that. I didn't know I was going to be facing time or whatever. I was an interstate fugitive for 5 years. But I wanted to get all the dirt off of me, so I turned myself in. And I knew I was facing the possibility of jail time or whatever, but I chose not to do a foxhole prayer. I chose not to, please God, if you get me out of this, you know, I don't believe in those. I don't believe in those. What I believe in is giving thanks for the small things that He does in my life every day. Like my almost falling, and I catch myself before I hit the floor and say, thank you, God. Or when like my bracelet falling in my lap or whatever, it's like, thank you, God. You know, or when you know, I'm waiting for something, a bus or something like this, and it comes, and yeah, that's trivializing too much. But you know, when small things that if you sat down and thought about it, and you say there has to be someone intervening in your life, in my life, for that to happen, then that's when I say, thank you, God. So I wanted to share that with you, that you know, how God looks after babies and fools, and I'm too big to be a baby. Okay, so I'll kind of bring you up on things. As you saw, I got CTC cameras coming in Friday. That's costing me an arm and a leg. You know, the magazine I'm having printed, that's costing me an arm and a leg. You know, so I'm gradually getting things done here and taken care of here at home, you know, which is good. I moved my arrival date again to November to make my travel plans to the States, because Colors has an event on the 17th that she wants me to be there. And so I said, okay, this time I'll make it. So everything I was planning to do in November, when I got back, I'm doing now in October, you know, now. You know, I've done a lot of work in the front yard, and and gradually, you know, it's going to come together. So anyway, so I won't be in New York till, or at least in the States till November. So I want to let you know about that. Helen, oh my God, Helen has a bone stuck in her throat. I guess I'm a believer now about feeding dogs chicken bones. You know, I know when I was growing up in the South and all that stuff, you know, we always fed dogs chicken bones. It was just part of the thing, part of the food they ate. You know, no one took time to separate the bones out of the trash. You just gave it to the dogs and they ate them. So that's why I always thought that chicken bones would be fine to get dogs. Well, I've learned now that as far as Helen's concerned, you know, she has one stuck in her throat, in my opinion, because she won't bark, and every now and then I know there's something stuck in her throat, so I have to take her to the vet tomorrow and have her x-rayed and see about having that removed to find out what's blocking her air passage. And of course I have to do that. She's in my investment. You know, I can't be neglectful in my care for her, because she's also part of the master plan here in Magazine. Big shout out to Craig. Craig finally came back to the Philippines. You know, I'm looking forward to hooking up with him. He'll be here probably about another few days or so I'm looking forward to that. So I just wanted to stop and just, you know, I went out tonight and I saw a band, and I wanted to, you know, the funny thing here about dealing with people from different languages is that they don't often understand what it is what you say. Least of all, understanding what you text. You know, so it's very, it's easy to say frustrating, but you know, it's very common for them to not fully understand what it is what you're saying, and you have to take the time out to really make sure they understand. I have one person who's working with me now. She comes in tomorrow, and although they're excellent readers, oh my God, I mean, I wish I had the reading skills and capacity that they have to read. The pronunciation and the breakdown. I never learned how to break down the words syllable by syllable, the A-E-I-O-U, A-I-E-L. I never learned that. So because of that, I can't read. I have no phonetical pronunciation of words. None. You know, but often the time when I read words and I know words, I know them from memory, from seeing them and hearing them and reading them. You know, see, I know words from memory, not from reading them, pronunciating them. So, you know, I have to, because I want her to be a part of what it is I'm doing in the future, I have to teach her how to comprehend what you're reading. Comprehension is something that for me, I had to force myself to learn how to do, because I could read, but I have no knowledge of what it is I read, because I was just saying words. So now when I'm reading it and my mind starts to wander, I would force myself and go back to the beginning and read it over again and again until I was able to absorb what I'm reading. You see, comprehension is the thing. You can read something, but then when I ask you what it is that you just read, you know, if you can't tell me, then, you know, your reading was in vain. So I have to, what little knowledge I have over the English language is that I have to teach her about sentences. About a noun, a verb, a pronoun, an action verb, all that stuff. What a period, a comma means. And then, so this way you can start comprehending what it is you read. Because you can't comprehend what you read if you don't know when to stop and pause and look for words that describe in a sentence what it is you're reading. You know, Johnny went to school. Who went to school? Johnny. Where did he go? To school. You see, you have to know how to break down a sentence to know in order to comprehend what it is you're reading. You know, so I'm looking forward to doing that with her. But she, again, like I said, I want her to be part of my call service, my call center, and we're opening up this the Airbnb account. But you know, before she can actually take over the Airbnb account so we can start running that the first of the year. She has to be able to understand what this issue is. So, one of those things. So anyway, so I just wanted to stop and just give a little shout out about what's going on, and just let you know how wonderful God is working in my life. You know, I don't even want to talk about my computer. I don't. I put in a new drive and it still won't work. So, you know. So, with that being said, this is Gerard, the chief of Filipino Soul Magazine. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plan. I am going to be in Cebu on the 14th at Sacred Hearts Church with PBA basketball player Panina, who's on the cover of Filipino Soul Magazine. He's going to come and he's going to play with the Dynasty Boys, the Taxi League, from 6 to 8 at the gym. So you guys come on down and meet him, take some pictures with him. We'll have a few magazines for him to sign and give out. So come and make him feel good. Support him. You know, after all, he's one of your greats. You know, and I've been ever so pleased and proud to have him on the cover of the magazine. After all, he bumped off the Lady Boys of Cebu. So I will be in Cebu on the 13th to the 15th. So those of you who are inclined to want to get with me, you know, make sure you contact me and let me know so I can fit you into my schedule. All these innuendos. And if you're lucky enough to have a dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, if you haven't got a dream, a goal, an idea, don't worry about it. Do as much you can, as fast you can, and go home. Michael, who is the manager for Feminists of Rock, who's on the cover of the magazine, got his copy of the magazine in the States, and he said, Gerard, we love it. So that's what makes me feel good about the magazine. That's why I want it in your hands, because once you have it in your hands and you see you in my magazine, you're going to say, Gerard, I love it. And that's what I'm paying for. That's what I labor for. I labor to provide you with something that you would cherish, because it's all about a moment in time. And right now, this moment, this time, you have been a part of it. You are a part of it. But he got his copy of the magazine, so you know I was happy. He's disappointed I haven't got a website to go with it, but I did send him. Of course, I was having a problem with the printer to send me the actual layout of the magazine at a high res where they can really enjoy the magazine. But I did send him the article from Feminists of Rock, and he loved it. Of course, on their page, I have the Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown, and Frankie Valli from the Four Seasons, just to add that more musical aspect to them. That's what it's about. It's about my photography. That's why I started S.G.I.B. Magazine. I started S.G.I.B. Magazine because, you know, those days of my being the only photographer in the room were gone. When I was in prison and I was reading everything about everything, but I never read about photography. I never knew that the digital age had ushered itself in, you know. And when I got out, of course, what I bought a conventional camera that automatically put me back there. Then we'll film again when everybody's got digital. But one thing they don't have, and that's the rich history of the entertainment business that I have. Documented, been there. And the contacts I have that allow me to put a magazine together. And I think Bonnie, the founder of the Pre-Grammy Party, and we know there's a heaven up above, she's teaching people how to network. We love you, Bonnie, and we know you love us more. And I told you the story time and time again. After working with her as the East Coast representative of the Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown, when I told her I wanted to do a magazine, she gave me a name, you know, it eludes me right now, you know. And he gave me a name, and he gave me a website with all the artists, and I start putting the magazine together. So my having that at my disposal and my history, rich history of photographs that I incorporate in the magazine, as you see, is my way of showcasing my work. And I think I've done some good things. I think I've documented some wonderful things. And I also know that I would not have been able to document a lot of things I haven't wasn't for drugs. You know, because as a cocaine dealer in the entertainment business and a photographer, that it gave me special access to and a right to be there, because I wasn't just a hanger-on trying to sell drugs. I had a legitimate purpose there. So when they flew in and said, "Oh, we need a photographer," hey, get Gerard to do it. He brings the nose candy. But I capitalized on that. I have a lot of shots in my storage of memories of even the Temptations with cocaine out coming out of their nose. You know, shots of artists who Joe Hicks, Billy Preston. You know, I have shots of artists with drugs that I would never publish. Even in my book, I won't publish them, because one thing that I do have, I have integrity. I have loyalty and I have trust, and I would never want anything to diminish someone's name, someone's history. And it hurt me when the first time I met the Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown, and someone, and Bonnie said, she said she asked me if I'd be a photographer. I said yes, and she put me right away on assignment photographing Mr. Brown. And when I went in the background, and when I went in there to the backstage, and said, "Mr. Brown, Bonnie told me to photograph him," and he was getting dressed, putting on his James Brown boots. How? Not to be confused with the Beatle boots, but he was smoking cigarette. He says, "Never take a picture of me smoking a cigarette." I said, "Yes, Mr. Brown, I got that." And so I made sure that I would never document him in any type of, way or relaxation or compromising situation like that. And that's why it hurt me so bad when they did that last documentary, that Mr. Bobbitt had a hand into it, because he was a major part in it, but he had nothing to do with editing. Charles Bobbitt was the Godfather, so was James Brown's road manager and management. I looked at Mr. Brown having 3 circles around him. One was Bonnie, Reverend Al Sharpton. The second ring was me, his people who helped make the Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown, happen. And then there's you. so anyway, if I thought that you would show up, I could call Mr. Bobbitt, no matter where you're at or where he's performing, and say, "Mr. Bobbitt, can you put so-and-so on his name?" He'll say to me, "Gerard, are they going to come?" I said, "Yes, Mr. Bobbitt." But Mr. Bobbitt did not like no shows. And so I could put your name on the guest list and you'd be in there. That's the kind of pull I have. But during that documentary, when they showed one still picture of him smoking a cigarette, I cringed. I felt sickened. I felt that he was turning over in his grave, because he knew he would never have the proof of that one still picture of him smoking a cigarette. And it's like, who authorized that to be in that documentary? Whoever did knew that the Godfather Soul did not want to have a picture of him like that. But they chose to diminish the man by putting an image like that they knew that he would not want to have published. But they did, just to show his flaws. But hey, that's why I smoke on camera, whatever, because you know what? This is who I am. I'm trying to hide dick. Okay? So anyway, that's why, that's why I did the magazine. That's why, that's how I got a lot of stuff. That's how, it is what it is. Okay? So anyway, if you're lucky enough to have a woman like Ollie Woodson, formerly singer of the Temptation One Son, treat her like a lady. And ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king. And don't forget to hit the subscribe. As my brother Kingsley from the across the pond, which is coming to Cebu, I think next week or in November. You know, don't forget to subscribe. And as Ellen Bayou, former Daily Showtime winner 2016, would say, don't forget to hit the bell. Remember, I always love you. I will always love you. I love you like I love something, baby. Now, I'm gonna post this. It may take 3 days for it to post, but I'm good. But that's so frustrating. But anyway, it is what it is. I'll talk to you later.